Welcome back. It is Saturday, December 30th, and the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way. Let's dive into a recap from yesterday. A day full of bad breaks. Let's talk about it. It was a 2-3 day. We had Donovan Mitchell's over in points. He soared over. We talked about it. Take your guards against the Bucks. He did his thing. D'Anthony Melton was a miracle. They ended with 15 points on the dot. Let's talk about our losses. We had Kevin Huerter, our biggest play of the day, for 1.5 units, over 8.5 points. I'm sure getting chirped because of loss, but the man scored 7 points in 9 minutes left with an injury. There's really, I can't cap an injury. I can't predict, hey, he's going to get injured tonight. Just terrible, man. Get well soon to Kevin. Obviously, this game was a big one for him. He cared a lot about it against Atlanta. Just obviously did not get it done. MPJ didn't get his job done. Scored 8 in the first quarter, then did nothing the rest of the game. And then Cam Thomas took his points plus assists. And I guess I know what it feels like to get burned by the Nets because they moved him to the bench. And that's not something I can really predict. But a 2-3 day, been a bad day the last 2 days. Let's bounce back. Let's not worry about that. There's some bad breaks these last few days. Let's dive into our favorite picks, though, today for Saturday. We got 3 of them. Let's dive in and let's absolutely dominate the slate, get back some units, and go 3-0. Now, there is a great offer on DraftKings. They upgraded their offer. They already had a good one, but they upgraded it. Now you get free NBA League Pass for the rest of the season if you sign up and you're a new user for DraftKings. You also get $150 in bonus bets, and that's all you got to do. Bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets, plus you get NBA League Pass. You can watch all the games. So, super cool offer. Sign up, top link in description. You can take advantage of that, claim your bonus bets, and get access to League Pass. But let's dive into our picks, though, today. Also, want to note, we do have a Saturday NFL edition for picks. There's a Lions and Cowboys game. I got 3 picks over there. Go check out that. We'll also have some Sunday NFL picks posted later on today, including our parlays video. Probably won't be posted until later tonight, but we've been doing really well in those parlays. We cashed 2 of them last week. Let's try to duplicate that this week. But you guys came here for NBA picks. The first one's going to be a guy that's a COS Hall of Famer. He respects our money all the time. And honestly, some people call me the Jalen Brunson whisperer because it's Jalen Brunson over 25.5 points, minus 125 on FanDuel. Now, the only thing that sucks about this is while I'm recording this, Jalen Brunson's only available on FanDuel. There's no other book with lines for him, which I'm not really, I understand why, because the Knicks are on a back-to-back and sometimes books are a little bit slow. But I think at the end of the day, he's going to get lines in every book. And if he doesn't play, whatever, we get our money back. But I think he's going to play. He normally doesn't sit out many games as the Knicks are traveling from Orlando, where they lost by 9 yesterday, to now back to Indiana, where they face the Pacers. It's going to be a tough task for him. But we've talked about Brunson before. I'm a Knicks fan. I watched most of their games, and end of the day, in a fast-paced matchup, they need Brunson to score. Because you think about the Knicks running about a 9-man rotation. In those 9-man rotation, you got Isaiah Hartenstein, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Taj Gibson, Quentin Grimes. 5 guys that, honestly, if they score 10 points, you'd be like, wow, we did not expect those 10 points, because they just really don't have a lot of offense, the Knicks do. And they need Brunson, Randall, and Barrett, and quickly off the bench to score a lot of points. And I rather trust Brunson coming off a bad game yesterday versus Orlando. Scored 20 points, 4 of 15, shooting 26% from the field, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. So did get to the free throw line a good amount. However, the crazy part is he probably could have attempted like 25 free throws in that game. And if you want to go to, don't ask Tom Thibodeau a question about the officiating last night, because he went off in a rant talking about how Brunson's getting hacked, going to the hoop, getting whacked in the head, and they're not calling fouls. They even asked Brunson after the game to comment on the officiating. He said, next question. So Brunson's coming in here with a little bit of added motivation, and he's coming off a terrible game. Brunson typically not a guy that shoots in the less than 30% for the field, heck, even less than 40%. He's very consistent, and he doesn't take a lot of stupid shots. He gets to his spots, and that's what he does. He knocks down those shots. And we saw the last 2 times Brunson shot 40% or less in a game. The next game, he scored 50 points, which we backed him in that game, and 36 points. Also, look at his last 2 versus Indiana, 30 and 34 points. Brunson drives the ball the most on the Knicks. He's getting into the paint, and we know the Pacers give the most points per game in the paint. Would not be surprised if maybe the referees got a little bit of a call, like, hey, try to give Brunson a couple more calls tonight. Wouldn't be surprising if he shoots even more free throws. That's kind of how the NBA sometimes works. Kind of want to keep your stars a little bit happy. And Brunson, obviously the number 1 player on the Knicks. That league, it does better when the Knicks are better. So I'm not saying that's going to happen tonight, but wouldn't be surprising if Brunson got a couple more calls. I really just think this is a great matchup for him. Give me his over 25.5 points. Pacers got no one out there that can stop him. They're going to need him to shoot 20 to 25 times. And I'll take my chances with Brunson having a more efficient night than he did last night. Brunson, COS Hall of Famer. He respects our money. He'll come through. Now, my second pick is going to be arguably my favorite pick of the day, and it's available on almost every single book. It's Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Twins. Not Minnesota Twins. Got baseball on my mind. Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves over 20.5 points, -115 on BetMGM. Now, I would play this at 21.5, although if you are looking at his line and you see 21.5, take a peek at his points plus assists. Carl does average about 3 assists per game. I was going to take points plus assists, but the difference was 3. However, you can get the difference at 2. Definitely take the points plus assists. But let's talk about Cat, who I'm still sticking to 1 unit, even though he's arguably my favorite play of the day. Although Brunson, I mean, we have such a great track record with him. I wouldn't argue if you want to put more on him. But we talk about Cat this season, averaging 21.6 points per game. He is over this line in 17 of 29 games, about 59% of the time. Now, if you look at the games he goes under, 12 or less field goal attempts and 9 of his 12 misses. So, sure, Cat could come out here and not shoot the ball, and we're going to really stand a tough chance at cashing this unless he goes like 10 for 12 from the field. But I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Cat is coming off a couple down games. Did have a little bit of an injury scare in there, but a couple down games. One was against OKC, a very tough defense, doesn't give up money points in the paint, and he just did not get anything going there. They got blown out. Then the other was against Dallas, where we saw Ant-Man go off for 44 points. Now, tonight, I like the matchup a little better for Cat versus the Lakers than there is maybe a Ant-Man's matchup against them. And we saw in the first matchup this season, Cat scored 21 points, although he left a lot of points on the table, 7 for 17 from the field. He also did not play the final 5 minutes due to an injury. Now, he doesn't necessarily play all the final 5 minutes. It's not like that's his normal rotations. Cat's rotations, I'm trying to think of another player that you might, I'm trying to think, Cat's rotations are pretty simple. He plays, the first probably 5 or 6 minutes of the game, subs out, maybe subs in at the end of the first quarter, but typically plays a lot of minutes with the second unit at the start of the second quarter and the start of the fourth quarter. That's normally where he scores the majority of his points. And I like that matchup because you think when he's with the starters, Anthony Davis not going to defend him. Will probably be defended by an undersized wing. And I don't think LeBron really wants to smoke a defending Cat. Maybe Rui plays or Taurean Prince guards him. I don't really know. But we've seen him really step up in these matchups. In Cat's last 7 versus the Lakers, averaged 25.1 points per game. He scored 29, 28, 30, 21, 23, 24, and 21 points going over in all 7 games. And he's attempted 15 field goal attempts in 9 straight first matchups versus AD. So, look, Cat and AD, obviously 2 Kentucky big men, they have a little bit of pride on the line. They're like, hey, I want to be the best Kentucky big man out there. But I just think that the field goal attempts are going to continue to be there for Cat. Lakers struggling against, bigs that can shoot the ball. And even if Cat or AD wants to guard Cat, AD typically not coming out to the three-point line, whereas we know Cat can do some damage from that spot. So going off a couple down games, I like him to get it done. If he continues to shoot 15 times, we have a pretty good track record here this season over this line in 10 of 12 games with 15 or more shots. I think this line's a point or two a little too low. He'll also, like I said, play against the second unit, which is likely going to be matched up against Christian Wood, and Christian Wood doesn't play defense. He just fouls people, and I really think he could dominate Christian Wood in the paint. We'll take Cat. We'll take his over 20.5 points. This line's a little bit too low, -115 on BetMGM. I know last 2 games, if you just look at them, bad, but I think he bounces back here today, back at home against the Lakers, the team he normally shows up against. I'll roll with him. And then my third play is going to be going to the Detroit Pistons, who quietly, Pistons games have become arguably the most fun games to watch because you got the Pistons going super try hard to win a game. And then on the other side, you got the team that they're playing being like, hell no, we don't want to lose to this team tonight. They're only +4.5 against the Raptors, who are on a back-to-back. And I'm going to back one of the Pistons. It's Bojan Bogdanovic. I like his over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -111 on FanDuel. I would take this at 27.5. Individual line points is definitely the way to go for Bojan. Typically, he's not a guy that fills up the stat sheet. However, the last few games, playing a ton of minutes, and he's been doing a good job getting the rebounds and getting the assist chances too. And we've seen Bojan's last 6 games. He's had 28, 29, and a weird 10 PRA game, but then 31, 28, and 35 PRAs, going over in 5 of 6. Now, his last 2 games, 19 and 21 field goal attempts. And you saw that last game against the Celtics, 19 potential rebounds, 12 potential assists. I mean, you think about their lineup, they don't have a lot of guys that can really score the basketball or create plays for themselves. I mean, Isaiah Stewart's out, which does help his rebound chances go up because they're not starting 2 big men. They're starting like Kevin Knox or Alec Burks is playing a ton. But also you think about the Raptors, a team that has a ton of defensive wings that can throw guys at Cade Cunningham and slow him down. We've seen Cade sometimes defer to Bojan in certain, defensive, schemes that they're throwing at him. And I think Bojan's going to get the field goal attempts and he's going to get a lot of minutes. I mean, the Pistons, like I said, are trying super hard, and Bojan's played 44 minutes last game, the most on the team. So he's out there a ton, and the Pistons honestly just don't have the scoring to keep up with many teams. So they need guys out there that can score the basketball, like Cade and Bojan. And And look at this game. If they're going to win a game at home, this is the one because they play 4 consecutive home or road games after this one. So if they can get it done at home, that obviously would be better on the road. Although I don't think the Pistons are going to be very picky where they get their losing streak. But we still think that in Bojan's last 3 games versus Toronto, he's played pretty well, all as a Piston. So it's not like I'm picking games where he wasn't a Piston. But 28, 41, and 21 PRAs, attempting 12, 18, and 12 field goal attempts. So look, one of the games, the one that he went under, only played 29 minutes. If he only plays 29 minutes, I'd be shocked. I just think he's locked into 35 minutes and 15 or so field goal attempts. This is just too good of a matchup. Kate's going to probably have OG Anunoby on him. I think Bojan will get some kickouts for some 3-pointers, which we know he's very talented at. Also shot only 8 for 21 in their last game. So obviously do some better shooting regression. Only made 1 3 last game and still managed to get 17 points and obviously filled the stat sheet there too with 12 potential assists, which is something that he can probably continue. But I just think this is too good of a matchup. If we see 15 to 20 field goal attempts like he's been doing, he's in 7 games this season, 15 field goal attempts. He's hit the over in 6 of 7. This is a guy that I think just locked into 35 minutes and 15 shots, maybe even more than that. I think he has a good chance of getting some rebounds too, although we're not counting on him to get 12 rebounds like he did last game. Certainly capable of getting that done. And obviously these are just Pistons that are trying super hard. And Bojan, obviously he's prideful. He does not want this losing streak to continue. He's going to go out there and do his thing. So while I don't necessarily know if he gets 12 rebounds, which is very unlikely, but if he does, he's going to cash this prop. I think the 12 potential assists are a better sign of, hey, this guy's the ball in his hands a ton. I don't really love Jaden Ivey, although he gets wide open looks every single game. I just think this is too low of a line for Bojan Bogdanovic. We'll roll with him over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's my third pick of the day. Not going to add any more. I did look at the Anthony Melton, but they raised his points line like 15.5 or 16.5. I imagine if it goes to 14.5, I'd like that too. I'm just going to stick to these 3 plays. Looked at LeBron's points. It is LeBron's birthday. Happy birthday, LeBron. He does normally play pretty well on his birthday. However, very, very tough matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Although we know LeBron, he could score 26 points. His line's 25.5 against anyone in the NBA. So he's certainly done that over the last, 21 years. But those are my 3 favorite picks of the day. Relying on Bojan, relying on Cat, relying on the boy, Jalen Brunson, the COS Hall of Famer. Let's go 3-0. Let's get back to winning. We've had just some bad luck these last few days. Not going to worry about it. We'll win in the long run. Pretty confident that. Shown that over the last few seasons. So let's have a dominant day. Let's go 3-0. Relying on these fellas to get it done. Of course, if you want to go check out my Lions and Cowboys favorite picks, that video is on the screen. And when we do have our NFL Sunday picks live, which we've been on a really good run in the NFL minus that Thursday night bad beat, but those will be linked on the screen as well. Probably will not be posted until later this afternoon. We'll also have our Parlays video posted later this afternoon as well. But go check out that Lions Cowboys video. And if you want to check out our P.O. Box opening on the second channel, go show that some love. It's Austin signing out. Let's have a 3-0 day. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow. Peace.